Good evening, everybody. Well, that's a disappointment. I expect to see all you marching up and down when I come out. Never mind, I'll play the trumpet next time. Our medium tonight is Chris King. Welcome, Chris.
Thank you.
And online, waiting in the wings for everybody, is our good old friend Stacie Frost. So, are we live? Yes. So I'll now invite Chris to open for us in prayer, and that will be followed by the Lord's Prayer.
Would you join with me, please, friends? Divine Spirit, we thank you for bringing us all together this evening, and we ask for all our loved ones in spirit to join with us. And I ask my guides, my helpers, and my inspirers to draw close and use me as a pure, clear channel to prove the everlasting life and the everlasting love. We ask for healing to go out throughout the world, wherever it's needed, to the war-torn areas and the areas of natural disaster. But for all of those that are suffering, whether it is mind, body, or spirit, we ask for your healing to be sent to them. We also ask for healing for the plant kingdom, the animal kingdom, and for Mother Earth, upon whom we all depend. Tonight, I ask that my messages and my address go to the people that need them the most, but that everyone takes something with them from this service, which I leave in Spirit's hands. Amen.
Amen. Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done, on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. Lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. I will now light our church candle and invite those of you who are watching us online to light your own candles at home if you can. As we do this, I invite you to ask your loved ones in spirit to draw close to us now, so that we may feel their presence and their love around us. May this candle be the candle to enlighten us all. May it be the light of strength and love that spreads all around the world. The fire that enables us to burn out all our pride, our selfishness, and the impurities that are within us. May it be the flame that brings warmth to our hearts, warmth to our families, our neighbours, our friends, and all those around us, and those we meet along our life's journey, and all those who need it most. I ask you now to join me in sending out love and light to all those in need of healing. Loving thoughts and prayers create a strong healing energy that can reach all around the world to all the people and places that need it most. I'll begin by reading the names from our church healing book and then offer a healing prayer. And our prayers are asked for Darren, Claire, Derrin, Lorraine, Jimmy, Pat, Tony the dog for transition, Laura, Lawrence, Jenny, Maggie, Dougie, Sonic the bird, David, Kelly, Annabelle, Bobby, Tony, Holly the dog, Lula and family, Jenny, Joan, Heather, Veronica, Joyce, Chris, Gary, Martin, June, Reese, Jake, David, Claire, Pat and Irene, Maris, John, Sharon and Ricky. Sheena Lightheart, I think that's all I've got now. Dear Heavenly Father, we join together now to send our thoughts of healing, love and light around the world to all those in need of healing, both physically and emotionally. And we ask that they will also reach and protect our animal kingdom, the world of nature and all that is around us. We pray that our energy may reach those who are cold or homeless tonight, and all those less fortunate than ourselves, wherever they may be. May our thoughts and energy tonight bring love, calm and peace to everybody. We ask this in the name of Jesus Christ, our Lord and Saviour. Amen. We now have a 1 minute silence so that you can send out your own personal thoughts and prayers to all those in need, and those whose names we have read tonight and any you may now think of privately. This will be broken by the singing of the hymn, Gracious Spirit, the words of which are in the front of your hymn book.
into glorious fame. Loving Father, hear us. Gracious Spirit, shewest thou great men, lead their lights and guide. Lead them to the heavenly joy, safely by thy side. Loving Father, hear us.
I will now invite Peter to bring us our Bible reading for this evening.
Hello, Rich.
Hello.
Hi, Chris. Nice to see you here.
Thank you. It's lovely to be here again.
Yeah, you're doing all right. Evening, all.
Evening.
And all those online, very welcome to you. I see you've left the old cold outside and you brought some warm in with your angels. So it's lovely in here this evening. I hope it's the same with you online. Tonight's reading is Living as Children of Light. And I think if you keep in your mind what we're always talking about in these readings is brotherhood and love for each other. It took me some time to tie tonight's reading of living as children of light with the unity of the body of Christ. After much asking, I thought I was led to Genesis on the light and St. John. The Word became flesh. To help me, I left out the first few sentences of tonight's reading on the past and concentrated on where we are at present journey and the revelations given to John by God. The Bible is a way of putting the guidance or instructions, which are always both in general terms and embracing all, and at the same time to us individually. This is clearly evidenced in tonight's reading when it talks of put off your old self, put on your new self, and therefore each of you, etc., will be better for it. As in many places in the four Gospels, lists of changes we need to make in our lives, and individually, we need to select one or more we need to change in our lives. Two other points I need to identify where child and light is. I saw these as child not being infants, so to speak, but opening our minds childlike, open to learning faith and trust in our Father God. Of course, the light means to me Christ, the light of the world, who is said in St. John, became flesh and lived a while amongst us, who are spirit and flesh. We often mentioned, he in us, we in him, taught by Christ with the truth that is in Jesus. Finally, in Revelation, John is showing us where we are leading to, the new world called New Jerusalem. I believe these thoughts are shown in the reading tonight. Living as children of light. That, however, is not the way of life you learned. When you heard about Christ and were taught in him in accordance with the truth that is in Jesus, you were taught with regard to your former way of life and to put off your old self, which is being corrupted by its deceitful desires, to be made new in the attitude of your minds, and to put on the new self, created to be like God in true righteousness and holiness. Therefore, each of you must put off falsehoods and speak truthfully to your neighbour, for we are all members of one body. In your anger, do not sin. Do not let the sun go down while you are still angry. and do not give the devil a foothold. Anyone who has been stealing must steal no longer, but must work doing things useful with their own hands, that they may have something to share with those in need. Do not let unwholesome talk come out of your mouths, but only what is helpful for building others up according to their needs, that it may be benefit to those who listen. And do not grieve the Holy Spirit of God, with whom you were sealed for the day of redemption. Get rid of bitterness, rage and anger, bawling and slander, along with every form of malice. Be kind and compassionate to one another, giving each other just in Christ as God gave to you. God bless reading, and thank you.
It's now time for those of you who are watching online to join Rob and Stacie, who will guide you through the rest of our service. We thank you for joining us and look forward to seeing you again soon. Hello.
Hiya, hello everybody. All my Thundersley family down there, hope you're all well. Missing you loads. Good evening everybody. I hope you're all nice, snugly and warm inside, because it's been a little bit cold today, hasn't it? Been a bit cold for a few days, but we've all got our lovely warm hearts here. So like Peter said earlier, but we're warming all the room up because of all that love and goodness we've got inside us. So hello everybody. Please forgive me. I haven't done this for a long time, so my legs are going like 9 to the dozen underneath the table. But it's lovely for you all to join me this evening. My address this evening, I was sort of thinking about it earlier, and the words just kept coming into my head. You are divine. Now, most of the time when you know, if I said to you that in the street, oh, you're a divine being, you'd probably look at me like I'm nuts and go, no, what are you talking about, divine? That's for, like, you know, Jesus, gods, things like that. But that's the point. You are divine. We come from everything. So whether it's a scientific view you have or a spiritual view you have, that we are one with everything. We have been created at the same time as everything else. So every part of our being is from the whole. We are that energetic being with everything else that is energetic. There is no separation between us. We are mirrors of each other, and other people are mirrors to us. We are embodied when we see all the nature that we have around us, the trees, the oceans, the animal kingdom, other communities. All of that is within us, and we are part of it as well. So when we feel that we are separated, remember when we were created in the eyes of, or in the image of God, what does that actually mean? Well, it means we must look like God if we're in the same image as God. And it's not something that I would think, you know, it's not an ego thing, oh, I'm like a God, but you are part of the creator, and the creator has created everything. So how can you be separate from it? And the thing is, we have forgotten that along the way, because if you think about what's going on in the world at the moment, and to be honest, I mean, and thank goodness the telly's got an off button, or at least the news has, you would think that there is no love in the world, that there is no compassion in the world, there's no thought for anybody else, but that's just not true. It's just what we are shown to perceive it to be. We are so much more. But if you think as well, with the amount of stress that everybody's under at the moment, how much, or I would say how many times a day do you feel that you get angry? Just think on in your normal day, and go through how many times a day do you get rolled up by something, disappointed, or, you know, and you sort of you can feel your anger rising, And you'll probably find that rather than being in flow with the world and in flow with our life, we seem at the moment, and I say the same for myself, everything seems to rile us up. And that's because we are so influenced by everything that's going on outside, although we are part of everything, but some things are, they're distractions, and we forget that we've got to get back to ourselves. And you think of all that energy it takes to constantly be in a state of stress, of anxiety, anger. And you sort of think, what does that burn off in you? Our stress in our ancient past was used for running away from, I don't know, saber-toothed tigers and other maybe people when we had sort of more sort of not savagey to people, but you know, different clans and groups in our ancient past. And we had to do it for fight or flight. If we were running after our food, we would have to have that on. Our natural sense is for danger, for anger, or for awareness, because it's actually a survival skill. But now, and stress can be really good in the body. In small doses, it raises like the adrenaline in the body and actually the immune system, because it gives us like a shot of adrenaline. So it's like a little hit in the body. But unfortunately, what's happened is we now live in a state of stress. So if you can actually think of the last time you just sat down and sort of took a breath and relaxed, or just laughed. And sometimes you sort of think, when's the last time I had a really good belly laugh? Something made me laugh. And it's sort of far and few between. And I thought, oh, that's not very good, is it? So I sat trying to find a comedy program that would enliven me a little bit for something humorous. And even that's getting difficult these days. But that's the thing. We've looking so far outside of ourselves, and we're worried. And of course we are, with everything to do with the gas, electric, the what's going on around the world in with Ukraine, things like that. You've got your own worries about jobs, the NHS. And how can we possibly live in this state? I'm surprised we're all not flaking out on the floor, because when you have that stress in the body, it doesn't become a good hit of stress. It actually depletes your energy, then has the opposite effect. So, and it's like the algorithm, like on your phone, when you even think of something and then pop up, or you sort of think, oh, I'd like to, I need this for the home, and then obviously 100 adverts come through on your phone because of it. Our brain is the same way. It actually is like an algorithm in itself. That's why computers and our own brain and our own energy is quite closely linked. So very clever, those computer companies, because the more you see things that anger you, the more your brain responds to that, and you search it out. And so we have to change our thinking and take a step back and say, right, let's actually write down on paper how many times that you've got stress today, and or even if you found yourself getting riled up for something, and you'll find that it's a constant thing, and it might be something really silly. It might seem silly to others, might not be to you, but you're sort of thinking, why am I actually getting stressed? Especially with all the, I should say, news with celebrity type couples that we've got going. I'm not being horrible. They're never going to have to worry about putting the electric on. But other people are. So why are we worried about what's going on in their life when we really need to bring it back to our own, deal with our own? Because then when we get ourselves stronger, when we get ourselves in a point of, do you know what, we need to start sifting the wheat from the chaff. What really is important? Yeah, we've got things that we need to fight for. But there's so much things we go on the defenses for that we don't need to worry about. We've got to let it go. And we've got to start putting that good energy back in our body, and then sort of finding a way to bring back our divinity to us, because we have forgotten our power. We've so forgotten our power. We are part of the Creator. We are here to create. We are one of the only beings on the planet. There are others that do amazing things, and the natural world is amazing to me. But we have got this ability to develop and create our world. And yet we forget that, yeah, we can put an extension on our house. We can go and do all those other things outside, but we forget to build us. We forget to build the love inside for us, the worthiness that we have for us. And we can go around saying, oh, well, the climate, you know, what's going to happen? They should do something about it. They are us. What do? Well, we can't stop someone chopping a rainforest down, maybe. But what we can do is plant a tree, grow something. We can recycle up to a point. Now, it might only be small bits, but remember, one grain of sand and another and another and another make a beach. One pebble and another can make a pathway. So we might only feel very small, we might feel insignificant, but we are so powerful, and we're even more powerful together. We can do such miraculous things because we have that energy within us, and we have just forgotten it. We've forgotten who we are, and that is part of the Creator. We create life because we can give birth to children. We create together to have children. We create our environment. We create art, music, wonderful things. And we create friendships, and we create love, and we create families and communities, and we create opportunities for each other and for ourselves. Don't ever forget how special you are. Whether you think you've been, you know, I don't know, whether you think we're in a petri dish here, in a simulation, on a planet, it doesn't really matter what you believe. The core thing is that we are all consciousness, we're all energy, and we all have power. And when we harness that power together, we are light, we are beings of light. And that is scientifically proven. If you take our atoms and go down with a microscope to the point of where you can hardly see anymore, we are just light and beings that emit that light. And we forget to shine because we dim it down with everything else that's going on around. When you say to someone, I want to heal you, I want to love you, that intention is the power that you have. You just the words, your love from your whole being to send it to somebody else. That is a gift in itself. You do not have to be a healer or a medium because we are all part of it. So I hope that's inspirational for you to go away. Don't ever think that you're on your own. Do not ever think that you're insignificant in this world, because you're not. But when you start changing your algorithm, putting out there, I want to find people that are similar mindset to me. I want to find people that are, you know, my little group, and that we can then do things together. And then we share our love to the world, share our love out, and in the wider community, you'll find that cause and effect will come back. But we forget it. I forget it sometimes. And I think, I know this stuff. I've known it for years. And you probably have too, but you're told through certain media and other maybe factors that you're nothing, that you can't do anything, you're powerless. And that is not true, because you are divine. God bless you. Thank you. Right, now I've had me rant. So we get to the part of the evening with the clairvoyance. And I hope it did sort of help some of you with that, because we do forget who we are. And I think we're pretty special, actually, all of us. And that's why I promote the special group that's on here tonight. Right. We are warriors, Nini. We are. Oh. Right. Before I start linking in, I did have a dream the other night, and I'm just going to throw it out there because if it's not for tonight, it might be for tomorrow when I'm on platform. But sometimes, because we just have all these dreams and things, but sometimes I do get little messages in them. So it was quite significant. So I'm just going to throw it out there. If there's a no across the board, then it might be for tomorrow. But I'm just going to throw it out there. A gentleman was in my dream. And the most significant thing that I cannot take out of my head is he's quite a big built man. He had his head shaved he wasn't an elderly man. He was probably sort of like in his 30s, 40s sort of age, I would say. But he had a tattoo of like an angel wing pattern on his back. Now, not like the wings as we normally see them, but they look like, like the dark lines that have done in like the dark ink, and it was like in points going all the way down his back. Now, I don't know if I'm only going to put that bit out because it's so significant. If someone would understand a man like that, then I can carry on. If not, I'm just going to put him to one side because it might be that it's just for somebody else, either that or he might just come to visit me. I don't know. But I do know he was quite I could say he's a very shrewd man. He was in a sort of pack, sort of like, so it's either army, when they like groups of people keep together. So it's either or motorbikes, things where I want to go in a group, and it was quite a close-knit group that he was in. He's very shrewd, but he also seems a bit secretive as well. As if like not secretive in bad, but just kept everything close to his chest. Sometimes I don't think you could always get out of him what he was really feeling. I also felt like he had a property as well, as if like he owned like a flat or something, which I would say was rented out. So I don't know if that makes sense to anybody on here. If not, I'm going to go down a different route. Okay, so if you just put on your comments yes or no, things like that. If I end up having sort of 2 or 3 people as we go on, and you'll find that the some of the information might be similar. If you get 3 where you know it definitely isn't, then take yourself out the conversation, because otherwise what it is, I can't keep up with all the comments on the side. Right, it seems to me that, okay, nobody can take this gentleman. As I say, it was in a dream, so that's fine. I just wanted to clear that up, because otherwise it'd be going round and round in my head. So we'll just see where we're going. Right, I have a lady that is coming forward, and the one thing that she's doing is it's like I've got a blockage in my throat, as if either I've got a lump or I can't swallow very well. I am more of an elderly lady as I come forward, and my hair would be sort of whiter rather than grey. But I just feel that it's all down here with the throat. If I can't swallow, or it's like, you get like indigestion and it goes all the way up. It's that sort of block feeling I'm getting with her. Again, my hands are cold, but I think she also suffered from the cold as well with her hands, because I just want to keep rubbing my hands and get some sort of like warmth back into them. This lady has got a lovely smile as I'm looking at her. I do think her teeth aren't her own, but they are a beautiful smile, and she's got very good skin. And she has, like I've got an armchair, she's got her own armchair as well. But the one thing I noticed about her, she's got a lovely sense of humour as well. As I'm linking in with her, and she's like got a top on, like the little knitted tops with like pinpoint sort of, I don't know if that's the word, it's like little pinpoints in it. It's like that. So it's quite thin. She doesn't like being bunged up, she tells me. I like to sort of be a bit sort of like thin layers. She's also having trouble with her wrists as well, she's telling me, and she gets sort of a bit of pain in those as well. if you can understand any of the information, please just put on there yes or no. It just helps me, because I don't want to waffle on for 20 minutes and nobody can take anything. Hopefully that won't happen, but it just helps me fine tune if this makes sense to anybody, and then I can sort of fine tune where I'm going. She's also talking about hi Mandy. She's also talking about someone's had earache in their left ear, because she's bringing it to me. And you know when you get that really sort of deep throbbing feeling and you don't know what to do with yourself. So I don't know if she's saying that she's had it, or there's somebody on the earth plane that's had earache lately and it just really sort of hurts. But it's mostly in the left ear she's making me aware of. She's also talking about somebody having like like tit for tat, as if like there's something going on in the family. It's just like silly little bickery things going on. She's also talking about she wants to shove her tissue up her sleeve as well. But it's like when she laughed, sometimes she used to laugh so much. You know, when you want to cry when you're laughing and you've got your tissue out like this as well. And it's like, oh, she's like, as if like she really would go on one, and this sort of raucous laughter that she's got. And she just sort of, she's such a lovely, lively lady as well. Oh, Mandy, your daughter's had earache as well. Okay, so must be with you then. Thank you, darling. It's like boom, all right. And this is the feeling she's giving me. There might be things going on in the family, but it's bang. It's like really hard hitting as well. And she's talking about something like a bit of news that was unexpected. All right. You know, when you get a bit of a shock as well, it's that type of feeling with it. She's not telling me exactly what it is at the moment. And I know we're on an open forum as well, but it's like, and some things are personal, but it feels like that it is like a bang wallop, you know, and you know, that sort of feeling you say, it's knocked me for six. It's that feeling, all right, that she's giving me. She's also talking about giving me the name Ted as well. I don't know if you would understand that, but she's just talking about Ted as well. She's talking about someone needing to move on. And I thought this is on the earth plane. It's like they need to get a shifty on and move on. Oh, her dad was Ted. I'm so glad when it works, right? Thank you, Mandy. It's like I want somebody in the earth plane, and I feel this is a male, as if I need to get a shifty on or get a move on as well. I'm also seeing as well, Mandy, a dog in spirit, and it's like I wish I knew where it's like. It's about a sort of it's not a tiny dog, but it's not a big. It's I don't know. It's like a sort of little terrier sort of size, but it looks like white with like curly fur on it. You know, when it's clipped and it's all sort of like wavy. It's like that. But it's sort of a smallish dog. Right, the energy as I'm sitting here, it's like this lady, she's sort of putting over my energy that I don't know if this is you, Mandy, where I've been sitting down and I just feel a bit not vacant, and I don't mean that in a disrespectful way, but you know when you just can't think anymore, and so you just sit and sort of stare at the wall. It's that type of thing. And it just, I just feel like, you know, you go numb. It's that sort of feeling, as if sometimes I haven't got the emotions to actually give any more. I just feel numb. She's also talking about someone as well suffering with sort of like headaches, and it's usually coming on the right hand side as well. And it's like it feels like someone picking at my head, like pick, and it's like a sharp pain, like a throbbing pain in my head, and it's like constant tension and worry. And she's saying to me, it's like the bomb has dropped, as it were, and it's like, I don't know. It's like, I don't know what to do now. Do you understand? It's like I feel like sometimes a bit ineffective. I don't quite know what to do with myself and how to move forward and what to do about going on with things. This lady just saying, please, Mandy, just try and rest and relax. And the thing that she's putting the most emphasis on is the rest. All right, for you. Because there doesn't seem to have been any mental rest or physical rest either. It's like I've been on, you know what I was saying earlier about on high stress all the time. This is you. This is what this lady is conveying. And she has a way of sort of like, it's like she wants to have a go at you in the most loving way, because she would, when she was on the earth plane, be quite direct in how she spoke to you. She wasn't always softly. She sometimes will give it as she saw it. And she'd sort of like, it's like, you're doing too much. You're taking on too much. Stop it. All right, stop it. And she's saying, let the rest of the get on with it and deal with them. I won't say the word. It's not a big swear word, but it's like, just let the rest of them get on with it. And it is again about that pulling back as well. Would you also understand someone like being a butcher in the family as well, or in that sort of because I've just seen like a butcher's apron. All right, and so I don't know if there's anybody in the family that would have owned a butcher shop or had a link with butchery, something like that. And there's also a postman as well. But I feel I want to go back a bit with this. And it's like I can just see like the post outfit as well. Would you also understand, Mandy, somewhat it's not just the headache, it's round the eyes as well, please, darling. So as if I'm getting pain around the eye, because I just feel like as if it's travelling all the way around the side of my face. And she's saying something about you getting very frustrated in the car the other day. It's like I've got my hands on the steering wheel and I'm sort of I didn't know if the wheel was going to come off. It's just like frustrated, as if like I was shouting in the car. I don't know if you would understand that, or getting really frustrated in the car. She's just saying it's like you've had enough. All right, you've had enough. And it's like you've been. If I say you're like okay, it's just a car, because I just saw someone at the steering wheel as if that's really frustrated or angry. But it wasn't like when I'm driving. It's like, when you get in the car and you're like, oh, just trying to use the car as like somewhere personal to get away from everybody. There is something it's like there's somebody on the earth as well that it's like dragging at you all the time. If I say that you have been the battering stick for someone to keep throwing stuff at, I don't know if that makes sense to you, but it's just like it's like emotional. It's just like the emotional sticks being thrown all the time, and you feel like it's like you're standing there being launched at all the time. And I don't know if these are like hurts or words or actions. It's just like I feel like your body's bombarded with with somebody else's issues, actually. This lady's saying about April being significant as well, please, darling. She's just bringing me to the month of April. She would just say, have a good cry and get it all out of your system. Because she said you've got to think, it's like you hold everything in, and then boom, you're like a firecracker, off you go. And it's unjust as well. This is the thing that hurts the most. It's unjust with you. It's like things that are happening that are, and I hate injustice as well. And it's like, where on earth did that come from? And why do I feel like I'm taking all the stick? This lady she's just got her chain. And she's just sort of like, she holds on to it as well, like a little gold chain, and she plays with it when she's talking. She just holds on to it, and it's like when she's talking, it's like like a safety thing, and it's just like a mannerism that she's giving me. This lady's tough, all right. She's as tough as old boots, and they're her words, not mine. But please just take her love, Mandy, all right? Because honestly, darling, you feel like you're going through such a time at the moment. But just take this lady's love and strength, because she's so straight talking. And if not, just imagine about hearing her voice in your head. What would she do? What would she say to me? All right, and sort of maybe. You know what I said about mirroring earlier? Try and sort of think, right, get her to sort of blend with you a little bit. Can I get that strength in here so I can go on? You will go on, darling. You will, all right? And you're tougher than you think, all right? You're tougher than you think, all right? These are all tests. Everything we go through in our life is a test. And when we get down the road, we start to look at things and saying, if I hadn't got, I'm so resilient right now. I'm so resilient because I've been through all that. But now this is time for you to put your foot down, all right, and not be the battering ram. And I'm going to leave her love with you, Mandy. All right, darling. Thank you so much for sort of like confirming some of her messages. Thank you, darling. So I keep getting the name as well, Matthias. It's not Matthew. I keep getting that name Matthias or Matthias in my head. So I don't know if that means anything to anyone, because it sounds sort of more French. But I keep hearing it in my ear. So if anyone can understand a Matthias or a Matthias, sort of just put a thumbs up for me. And it is a male name, obviously. Right, I have a gentleman that's coming forward, and the first thing he says is Pete. All right, Pete, and he's got such a deep voice. Now, I don't know if this is Pete he wants to talk to. Oh, you know, Mattia here. Right, okay, bear with me, Nini. All right. But I've got this gentleman's quite a big man. I'd say sort of late 50s sort of age as I'm looking at him. He comes from behind, so that is usually either a partner, it could be friends of the family. It's not like immediate family, and it's like a connection with you. And he sort of feels sort of about 5'10", that sort of height. I feel like, say, he's got his hair is either cropped quite shortly to his, but he's sort of quite broad, and he's got a nice build as well. But he's just saying Pete. All right. So Michelle, you said your daddy's Pete. I don't know if this is sort of like dad in spirit is Pete, or Pete is on the earth plane, because it's just the name that I've got. All right. let's see where I go with him, Michelle, and then we can sort of see where we're going. All right, darling. I feel like I like to look after myself as well with this gentleman. So I feel like, you know, I feel quite smart as well. I feel quite a trim man as well. And it's a that I would, when I scrub up nice, I think the word is. He feels like quite a hands-on man as well. All right. And I sort of feel like I could sort of try and turn my hand to anything. He said, I'm not an expert, but I can sort of like do a bit of DIY, things like that. He's not the most, I can say, big talker. I do think that he would have held a lot in. And I think he sort of sometimes says things when he's got to say them. He's not one, you know, he would sort of volunteer up stuff. And he just feels sort of an amiable sort of man as well. So I don't know if, Michelle, if you would understand that, darling. He's saying he tries to keep quite chilled. All right. He tries to keep quite chilled. And in most of his personality, he tries to let things just go over his head. He feels quite even-tempered, all right, and he feels like quite a balanced man as well. But at the moment, I don't know, Michelle, if there's something going on with you that's really running against the grain, because what it's like, he's showing me a fine line. All right, so I don't know if someone's crossing that fine line at the moment, or something's really irking him. All right, because I feel this is something on the earth plane that he's seeing that he's like, oh, I'm not happy with that. All right. He feels like someone's about to cross over the line, if that makes sense. It's like, I feel like I'm waiting for it. You know, when you build yourself up and think someone's going to do something in a minute, they're going to do something in a minute, and you're just waiting for that. It's like you're waiting for the thump, you know. Has he got a habit of like scratching his head? Because as I'm sitting here, he's sort of like, it's like when I'm in deep thought, I feel like the back of my head is if like I don't know about that. I don't know what about that. He feels quite a beautiful soul, actually. There is quite there's a gentleness within him as well, and a kindness within him. But he doesn't feel like he's an overly showy person. As if, like, you know, he feels sort of quite sort of, there's a bit of humility with him as well. There is also someone as well, like I said before about the other lady with the earache. I just feel I have something that's going down my throat as well, from my ear and going down. So it's like, I feel like it's more of a glandular thing, if that would make sense, as it's going down my neck as well. So I don't know if this is him or someone on the earth plane that is suffering as well around the glands, and going down to the throat area here. And it's like, you know, when someone gets something on the table, it's like, I want to do that, as if someone's right, got to get moving, all right, and I just want to sort of tap out a little rhythm on the table. It's good here. I do all the actions. I can be booked every weekend for entertainment. Would you understand as well what he's bringing me to my heart as well, please, darling? And I just feel something's quite quick as well, please. Would you understand someone collapsing as well, please? Just like boom, gone, collapsed, because I just feel like my legs have buckled underneath me. And so I'm not saying this is gentlemen, because sometimes I give information that might be relevant that for somebody else. But I just feel like it's like the heart, boom, and then as if but I feel like I've been standing up and I've just dropped. Okay, all right, maybe that's what he's trying to say then, because it's just like I feel like I'm standing, then I'm gone. All right, darling, thank you. I don't know if you would understand. He's showing me like I'm sitting on the floor, cross-legged, as if like I don't know if I'm playing with kids, or I'm sort of like I like to sit on the floor cross-legged rather than the sofa. I feel like I like to get down and at the same level. I like to sit on the floor rather than in the chair. And this is him. I just feel like I just want to feel like I want to sit on the floor. And would you understand why he's saying you're precious to me? All right, because he just sounds about you're precious to me. And he's also talking about a wedding ring, but he's putting it on the right hand rather than the left. So I don't know if that makes sense to you, why a wedding ring would be on the right hand, please, rather than the left hand. He feels like a bit of a protector, this man. He feels like I would have just looked after people. All right, I'm not all sort of singing and dancing, but I feel like I've got quite a lot of morals that I want to keep an eye on people and look after those that are close to me. You don't, okay. I just he just wants to sort of wink at you, darling, and as if like, I'm all right. And he just feels really okay. All right. I think it's like I'm looking out for people on the earth, if that makes sense, rather than I like to keep an eye out. Would you just take his love, darling? All right, because I think he just wanted to come in and sort of make himself known, and really just sort of send his love out there as well, that he's still trying to look after everybody from the spirit world. And I'll leave his love with you, darling. All right, thank you. Okay, can I go back to, is it Nene? Right, okay, where was we? With the, so I'm just at Nene. Could you just sort of like, is it Mattia or because it's such an unusual name, darling, and I'm assuming it's sort of like a male name, because when I sort of think of Matthias or something like, yes, darling, you, because you put Mattia on there. I don't know if that's something that is a male or female name, because it's come through like Matthias or Mattia, something like that, and I could just hear the name, darling. So I think that I just thought that you're Mattia, that's it. So I'm going to see where we go, because it's such an unusual name. So they're male. All right, thank you. And just see if there's anything else that comes, because I kept just getting it in my head, and I thought if I don't say it, then I'm just going to get it lingering. All right, and then it will drive me nuts. Now, I don't know if this Mattia is in spirit on the earth plane, because it's just the name that I've been given. All right, so I don't want to put someone somewhere if they're not there, or if they might be, if they're on the earth plane, it might be a message for that person, if that makes sense. I have a sort of gentleman coming forward, and he is he comes from Dad's side of the family as well. He's quite a he's here. Okay, so could you just listen out, Nini, for information? If you can pass it on to him, all right, in case it makes sense, because sometimes you also have to be the messenger. So I'll just see where it goes, if that's all right. And then I've just got a gentleman that comes here, and he feels like a dad on Dad's side of the family, all right, and he's got more olivey skin as I'm looking at him. He feels like he's got a little bit of a moustache, and I know his hair would have been dark when he was younger. I don't feel like he lost it all. He's quite a thin man, and he's quite a slightly built man as well. He does. I feel that he does like to. I feel like I want to wear a shirt all the time, but I'm doing more manual work. All right, so I feel like I can put my hand to anything, and I feel like I'm quite a manual person. But I've got my shirt on, I've got my trousers on, I roll my sleeves up, and I feel like I'm outside a lot as well. I do feel like this gentleman smokes as well, or did smoke when they was on the earth plane, because I've got sort of like, and it's quite a strong smell as well, as if it's quite a strong cigarette. The gentleman saying is I'm not a hearts and flowers sort of like person. I'm not a person that is lots of emotion, and I feel like I'm quite tough underneath, and that sometimes I like things to be done in a certain way. I'm not a big talker, this man, but I just say what needs to be said, and I feel like I know you said about the army, but it's like giving orders. But it's just like I just feel like, no, I want you to do that, and it was expected that you would do it. It's that type of feeling with this gentleman. I don't know if that's okay, Nini. If this is for Mattia, this would be, I think, if it's not for you, darling, it might be better if you could, if it goes to your the person that you know with that name, because it might be something to do with him other than yourself, if you can't understand everything I'm saying. All right, so you just take what I give, and then you might find if it doesn't mean anything to you, because he's called out the name, it might make more sense to him instead. All right, darling. Because I don't feel this is an army man. I feel this is someone who's outside. I feel more that is right, that the man isn't from this country. So this is why I feel it might be for your friend or whoever it is, that Mattia. I do, yeah. I feel this is for him, and oh, bless you. Sometimes they just come through because you're on here, and I would say he finds it hard to show his love, and that sometimes he sort of dug his heels in. And so, could you pass on the message to Mattia, please, that he wishes he could have shown more affection. But he's a man that is a practical man and didn't always know how to do it. All right. So I'm going to leave that with you, because if you can't take it and you don't know, I just wanted to sort of like get that out there for him. Okay, his dad has passed on. All right, darling, thank you. You got the responsibility now, passing it on. Yeah, will you just send him the love from this gentleman, please? All right, because he he's saying he didn't get a chance to do it. He didn't get a chance to do it, and he wants to do it now. All right. So thank you so much, darling, for passing that on if you can, because it's a great privilege to be able to, if he would accept it. All right. Thank you. Right. Okay. So I'm just seeing who else is building up with me. Right. I can hear singing in my ear. And I've got a younger woman that loves to sing. And I feel that she would be fair. I would say that she's sort of like teens to early 20s. I don't feel she's much older than that. Sometimes I see spirit that, or I see people that are here in my mind's eye, similar to spirit. So I don't want to put anybody there that's not, but I just feel that this is a beautiful girl. And she's got her hair sort of like in a ponytail, but I just feel like she's got a really lovely voice. And so I don't know if anyone can understand that a young woman that loved to sing, or if there is someone there that has a young woman on the earth plane that loves to sing, because I can just see her in my peripheral vision. So you love to sing and your mum loves to sing. All right. Would you understand that it's like with a microphone as well? It's not just all singing in the bath. It's like I could sing properly, because it's it just feels like I just like, I want to belt my voice out as well. Okay. I don't like to ask if they're in here or in spirit. It's only because, to be fair, I'm not sure, because it's just sometimes I say I can see people on the earth plane not too dissimilar to people in spirit, but I'll see where we go. The lady that I'm describing, so I'm going to go. She's just got an energy around her that's sort of vivacious and just it's like she walks into and she lights it up. She's that strong in her own essence, as it were, because I just feel like, so if this lady, and they're showing me, and she's on the earth plane, it's because maybe there is an issue at the moment, and that's why spirit like to bring my attention to them that are here on the earth plane. All right, okay. I'm going to see if there's a spirit person that wants to come in and see why that they are linking with this young lady. Right, okay. Let's see. Now I have a lady that's joining me, and she's quite a rounded lady. As I'm sitting on my chair, I feel like she's sort of, if I say lovely like a red wine and full-bodied. All right. I know her hair would have been darker when she was younger, or she would have kept it. It's quite strong hair as well. All right. So, and I feel there is a bend in it as well. So she's got it sort of going back as well off her face. She again has got quite a good sense of humour. There's a little bit of a naughty sense of humour with her as well. And for some reason, she likes to do things from her chair. So it's I have my knitting. I've got something, and I can talk and knit at the same time. And I love to talk. I love to talk 9 to the dozen, and I will just keep going. And I can multitask from my chair, and I've got my balls of wool, and I've got my needles, and I'm clacking away, and I can have conversations. She's just an amazing lady. So I don't know if this would make sense to anybody linking with this other young lady that I can see. She's also like a force to be reckoned with, this lady as well. she's talking about having sort of like the ill health with her chest as well, and it's sort of like, and I feel there's like a wheezing there at some point as well, and trying to get up. Oh, your mother-in-law done anything at the armchair, so it might be that I'm with you, darling. All right. Okay, so just sort of, I'll continue with the information. All right, darling, see where we go. And she's just one of these people that she sort of commands the room. You know, would you mind doing that for me? Would you mind doing this for me? But I can't. But she's just like, I feel like my chest is a problem. I do feel like I'm struggling getting up as well out of the chair. And I think this is also not just to do with the chest, but she's saying to me, putting on a few pounds. So I feel like with my knees are playing up as well, my hips, and I just feel like everything's aching. And sometimes I struggle. So I just sit where I can. But she's quite open about that, you know. Oh, I can't do that. They can do that for me. But it's in a lovely way. All right. She's a very lovely lady. She's also talking about, you know, like the gold sovereigns people used to have years ago. You could have them a ring or you could have them on a pendant. I just feel like there's like a small gold sovereign as well somewhere, if that would make sense, darling. And for some reason, she's giving me cabbages. I do not know why. I have no idea why. But I've just got these cabbages and the smell of cabbages. Would you also understand a small dog as well, please? Like a little, you know, like a Jack Russell, something small like that. Because I've just got like a little dog, as if I'm running around my feet. All right. I do feel people would come in and see her though, quite a lot. It's like they'd come in and have a chat to her. And I feel like her door was always open if people wanted to come in, because sometimes I don't even think she locked it. I think, oh, Gary the dog. Great name. I just feel like she left it open and people just come in, because she wouldn't always get up or couldn't get up. So people just come, let themselves in. But I do feel she's quite a popular lady as well. She's like got a tin, you know, the old fashioned sweets, like, you know, the travel sweets where you got a tin. I feel like I've got a tin of those, and I feel I've always got something in my pocket as well, you know, as if like, oh, I've always got a sweet or something nearby. So I just sort of pop one in. All the neighbours came in. Oh, I think I'm definitely with you, Sheena. Would you understand why she's linking me, or she came at the same time as this other young lady that sings as well? Are they linked together? Because she obviously, this is the image she's put in my mind of this beautiful singer. Would you understand why there's heartache around? Mother and daughter. Thank you. Would you understand why there's heartache, please, darling? Because when I'm sort of asking her, why have you sort of come in? It's like I just feel like bereft here, and it's like that there's been like a hole opened up, you know, as if I can't fill it. I do feel sometimes she's saying that they could sometimes rub each other up the wrong way. Oh, bless you. They could rub each other up the wrong way as well sometimes. It's like, you know, when people are close, but they're also quite similar in that they're quite stubborn and strong-willed. It's this type of feeling as well I'm getting between them. This lady's also saying they will all be taken care of. I know you've just put on there, we lost 2 families to men. So God bless you. I'm so sorry. But she just said to me, will you tell they will all be taken care of? All right. Yeah, these two are very similar. All right. Would you understand why the younger lady is feeling so much pain at the moment, like inside, emotionally? Because this is when they come through, is again, it's sometimes passing the message on as well. Would you understand? I feel like the singing is so important. And I don't know if there is a song that has been sung in memory of her mum, or is there something she's written or something? Because I just feel that it's something to do with the song that is important. All right. And it's like I want to pour when I'm seeing her sing, it's like I'm pouring my heart out into this microphone and really going hell for leather with it. So if you can pass that message on, will you let her know that mum has seen her and mum is around her? And that she knows all of what she's up to. All right. Because she always did. I'm going to leave this lady's love with you, Sheena. All right. And it might be because it's coming up to the year as well. Sometimes the anniversary as well, obviously, for her daughter is very important. So it might be why something significant is going on there. But would you sort of, if you could pass the message on as well, please? It's something to do with this song. So I don't know if she wants to write something or sing something or a favourite song of her mum's, but she's aware of it. And just send this lady's love to everybody. All right. So thank you very much, Sheena, for working with me. Right, okay. I've got a gentleman here and he's banging a drum. And I can hear boom, 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 boom. He's quite a big man. He's not a tall man, but I feel like he's got a bit of a belly on him. And I feel like I'm either in a band or it's not just like, it's not like a drum kit with that type of band. It's like a brass band or a marching band, something like that, because I feel like it's hung around his neck and I want to bang the drum and it's sort of like that, oh, bang, 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 all right, as he's coming forward. He's clean shaven as well. He's got quite a round little face as I'm looking at him. And there's a pride as well in the he wears like a uniform with this as well. So I don't know if it's like Salvation Army or it's something like a club band or something like that. But I just feel I wear a uniform and I'm so proud of this uniform and to be in this band because it's quite significant to this gentleman as well. Again, I'd say he's only about 5'6", 5'7". I wouldn't put him much above that. Again, his hair is very short and not a lot of it. But I think he sort of would have kept it quite short. Again, he's quite a round-faced little man as well. I feel like I might want to go back a little bit with this. So I don't know if I would understand somebody like that loved to was in a band or something. It's your dad, Sheena. It might be because he's just trying to come in just before, because sometimes they do. So you would understand that Sally Army Band. Would you understand with the drums as well, darling? Would it something he would play? Because he's probably thinking, well, you've got to give a message to someone else. I want to come in and just pass on a message to you as well. There's a lot of pride, not only with the army, but with his family as well. He's got a real chuffed feeling, all right, as if he, it's like they are his world. I will not bang them anymore. The one thing I'm getting though is a headache around here, as if like I've got a pressure around my head. So I don't know if this has anything to do with Dad, but I just feel like I've got a real pressure around my head. Okay. Right, what I'll do is I'll continue, because I know Karen, you said your uncle's in jazz band. It feels more like a marching band, darling, rather than like on a stage. That's the only difference, I would say. He just oh right, he had cancer in the head. Okay, that would make sense then. All right, darling. I'm just quickly gonna see if there's a message, and then I will sort of ask him to step back. All right, so I can see if I can get one more in. The pride that he comes through, and I think that's what he wants to give you, all right, is that he's so proud of you. All right. And he said, you've been in the darkest times and of the toughest times. He said, and I'm so proud of you. You've just held your head up and you just kept going, all right, even when you didn't feel that you wanted to. He's also quite an emotional man. He does get very emotional when he comes close to me. All right, darling, do not apologize, darling, because sometimes it's just that this is for you. All right. He's just so proud of the way that you've dealt with everything, and that you've kept your head above water when really you just feel like you wanted to sink. All right. And he just wants to give you, he just wants to send you such a big hug. All right, such a big hug, and just tell you to keep going, and and to use and like to keep, you know, that marching, just to keep walking through it, just to get through it, just put your head down and just go through it, and don't look back. All right. Because that it's the pride. All right. And he's got in you. So all right, he send you a kiss and a hug, darling, and I'm gonna leave his love with you before my mascara starts running. All right. Right, okay. I'll see if I can get another quick one in. 8 o'clock. I have a very soft-spoken lady. Oh, that's good, Sheena. I have a very soft-spoken lady. I've got the name Jess being given to me as well. So I don't think this is her name, but this is somebody that she'll know called Jess, I think. And the lady comes to her mum's side of the family. So it could be mum, nan on there. And she feels like quite a tall lady, actually. What I call willowy. She's very well dressed. She's very sort of not much petite, but very, you know, long legs, long body. I'd say like a dancer sort of frame that she's got, because she holds herself quite upright. She has short hair, but it's salt and peppery. She didn't really worry about colouring it. She had what I call a natural beauty to her. She's got very good bone structure as I look at her as well. She is an older lady, but she's one of these people, you know, when I say someone looks graceful, they look dignified. This is this lady. She's quite quietly spoken. And she's quite gentle in her tone, but she's also saying she loves a skirt as well. She's got very good legs, all right, long, and she likes just a small heel on her shoe. She always used to wear tights or stockings. She doesn't like bare legs, and she's very neat in everything that she wears. All right. So I don't know if anyone would understand this lady. I want to put her in her 70s. Maybe like late 70s, but she knows somebody that wears very well. She's got very good skin, and she's got a natural sort of grace about her. She's very she's warm, but she said don't be like, you know, I can be very calm, but I also have a I can say a little stubborn streak, all right, going through me. If she said no to something, I'd be no. But she didn't have to shout and holler about it. She'd be just very graceful with it. All right. Would anyone understand this lady at all? She says she's on mum's side of the family. So I'm looking at a mum or a nan. So I don't know if the name Jess is relevant. She can be on the earth plane or in spirit. But I've just got the name Jess. I know I don't think it's her name, but it's just that's what came through with it. And everything she does is like with dinners, they are it's like they're nice dinners, but they're not too big. It's like I like nice china, I like fine things. She's very that's like Nicola. I just feel like see, you all know Jessie's now. All right, this is it's if you could take the description of this lady, All right. So I do feel like she likes nice things, fine china, things like that. If you went round there, I feel that you'd get a nice dinner plate. You wouldn't just get sort of like an IKEA special. You'd get something with like a little pattern on it, you know. And I think everything with her movement is done very dignified and very, you know, sort of ladylike. She feels quite a clever lady as well. I think there's a lot going on up top. And she feels sort of somebody that would she's quite a shrewd lady as well. I don't think anyone could get one over on her, and she feels quite educated, whether it's self-educated or educated, you know, like in schools, I think. I just feel that she's quite sharp-minded as well. She's she feels like quite a warm lady, but she's not one that would run up and go, "Hi, come in, let me have a hug." Everything about her is sort of restrained a little bit. Would you understand, Nicola, a parrot as well, please? I've got a green parrot or something like that. I'm not saying it's hers, but would you understand this as well? Because I'm just seeing this like this green parrot thing to the side of me. I do feel I feel like, I don't know if I had a stroke or I've had something where I can't get my words out either, because I'm struggling with my words. I'm struggling with my actual jaw as well to sort of get coherence with the movement. I feel like I'm frowning as if I'm trying to understand things and I can't quite get my head around it. So I feel at the end of her life, I can't sort of quite get to grips with things. And I feel like I'm frowning as if like she had budgies over these. Well, that's okay. We'll say it's green. It looked like a parroty thing. All right, I let myself off on that one. But she had a few strokes. I can understand that, Don, because it's just like I feel like I'm really trying to concentrate and like and yeah, and get some muddled and things. All right, thank you, Nicola. And this was so frustrating for her because she feels like quite an active lady as well. She didn't sort of sit around all day. She just liked to keep moving and doing things. And she did like to communicate. And it's frustrating for her not being able to communicate what she wants and what she wants to say. She's saying about she's glad you're looking after the tea sets. But you have a similar taste to her. You like, if I say sort of more antique-y things, would you understand that? You like nice things too. So there's a sort of like between the two of you, got a similar sort of taste in liking nice bits of china, but not just that, like maybe little ornaments and things. And there's a few things that are collected as well. But it's not like loads of stuff, but you like little nice bits, all right, that take your eye. I don't know why she's saying this. She said, do yourself a favour and leave it alone. I don't know what this is referring to, but there must be a situation around you that she doesn't want you to get involved in. It's just like, leave it alone. All right. And it might be something you feel that you want to say, or you want to speak your mind, but she's like veering you off of that course. She said you're a lot more hands-on than her. You will be a lot more huggy. Does that make sense? You're more sort of like tactile, where she's a little bit more restrained. But you have there is a lot of love and respect between the two of you as well, because it's like there is you're quite similar in some ways. You like to look after things as well. all right? Not just people, but things. You like to, you're not a throwaway person. Oh, I won't, don't want that, don't want that. You like to really appreciate things that you have. She said you understood each other. All right. And there's a lot of love from this lady going to you, darling. All right. And I'm just going to leave her love with you. All right. And just say that whatever it is that she's talking about, that she wants you to leave it alone. I think she knows best. But please sort of like just remember that she's there with you, and she just remembers your little chats, and you would have a giggle together as well sometimes, you know. And I'm going to leave her love with you. So thank you very much.
Oh, thank you, Stacie. What a lovely evening. Good to have you back with us. We've got our 3 cards from Frank coming up, but can we come back to you for a closing prayer after that?
Yes, lovely.
Super, thanks, Stacie. Okay, friends. Well, good to have you all with us tonight, and welcome to anyone who's new with us at Thundersley. Lovely evening with Stacie there. But as our regulars would know, can't get round to everyone in the evening. So Frank from our church draws 3 cards each week. Each one's marked with a crystal. So if you tune into the crystal at the start and then listen to the uplifting message for the week ahead. Let's see what Frank's got for us.
Our first crystal is the amethyst, and with that goes the card for the hermit and firefly. The hermit is one of the most misunderstood cards. Understandably, people think it means being alone, and sometimes it does. More often, though, it reflects an inward journey of exploration and discovery. It is true that spiritual inspiration frequently comes from meditation and from the enjoyment of solitude. But just as often it comes through learning from an enlightened teacher. The card gives the appearance that the hermit is alone on a mountaintop. In reality, he is actually holding up his lamp so that many who seek to climb the mountain can see the way and find him and the enlightenment he offers. For this reason, the firefly represents the light from within and flashes of insight and inspiration. Fireflies are very small and in solitude would give off only a very small light, but they fly together in their hundreds, which gives off a great deal of light, and they ask you to follow their example and shine for all to see. For if we work together and we allow others to support us and help us, although we may feel that we are small and insignificant, with the help of the others, we can achieve great things, because much is achieved through joining with others and through sharing their light with them. Our second crystal is the citrine, and with that goes the card for the zebra. This card is all about adaptability, working together with others, and seeing things from different points of view. The zebra asks that you merge your various opinions and points of view into a new idea. You might even say the zebra is saying the whole is greater than the sum of the parts. Through mutual compromise, the solution surpasses anything that you might have decided on your own. Zebras can also be a sign that you should wait for better timing before proceeding. Take time to think. There might be a better course of action. There might be something you could plan better. The zebras are beautiful and intelligent animals, and they symbolise balance and cooperation. They move in great herds, and they work together to protect the herd. The zebra stripes are unique and individual, just like our fingerprints. No two are the same. And each zebra is able to be identified by its stripes and the patterns they form. So when we look at a zebra, do we see black stripes on white, or do we see white stripes on black? The truth is never that clear. And it is a lesson that nothing is ever just black or white. It depends on what perspective you look at it from. And so the zebra is saying to you, their markings are a reminder to you never to think of things just as you see them, but to look at them from other perspectives and other points of view, and ask yourself, could we do this a different way and achieve a better outcome? And our third crystal is the rose quartz, and with that goes the card for the Arabian horse and the chariot. The Arabian horse is about the balance of strength and intellect, maintaining control, and having confidence and determination that will assure victory. These horses symbolise great success that comes from hard work. Those driving this chariot understand that nothing has been given to them. They've earned the rewards and recognition they're experiencing. It is a time of balancing, often opposing energies all at once. So you need to remain focused, determined, and self-confident as you move forward. But if you do, then you're sure to be triumphant. The Arabian horse, like all horses, can also represent good works. Among the most beautiful and noble of the animal kingdom, the horse is also known for its fine, delicate features and fiery passion. They match raw grace with intelligence and accomplish great things. And you're asked to do likewise, to match your grace with your intelligence and strength, and embrace your worthiness and your personal power, so that you can obtain your goals. When we look at the chariot on this card, we see that it is unusual. The horses are not between the shafts, they are in the chariot. So this comes with the old warning of make sure you're not putting the cart before the horse. Get things in the right order, sort things out the way they should be. And there is no one holding the reins on these horses, and they are difficult and powerful animals to control. So this is also bringing you the message and saying to you, if you are to get to the end of your journey and achieve great things on the way, then you must take hold of those reins and hold them firmly. and you must be prepared to control these horses and control the forces that are around you and remain in control so that you're the one that decides your path and your direction. An excellent card that, with some very powerful advice there. I hope you like that.
Okay, lovely. Well, let's bring this service to a close. We'll go back to Stacie for the closing prayer, and then we'll have the closing Vesper. Thanks, Stacie.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone. I know we've overrun a little bit tonight, but that's the way it is. If you'd just like to close your eyes or just have your thoughts as I do the closing prayer. Thank you. Dear Father, Divine Spirit, I thank all those in the world of spirit that join me this evening, my guides, inspirers and helpers, but also your loved ones from the spirit world have wonderfully given their messages of love, support and upliftment here this evening. I thank you for their messages to say that they're still with us. We might not be able to physically see them, but we know their love and their energy is always around us, and that all we have to do is ask for their help, and they are there. Please never feel alone. Remember your power, remember your divinity, and God bless you until we meet again. Amen.
Lovely. Well, I'd like to say a big thank you to Stacie for taking tonight's service. So good to have her back with us at Thundersley. Thank you to Chris King, who was our medium in church tonight. You'd have seen Chris earlier opening up. Thank you to Frank for chairing the service in church. Thank you to Peter for the Bible reading. Thank you to Frank once again for his cards as always. Hope everyone has a great week ahead, and hope you can join us next Sunday at 6:30 again. Take care.